Practicing your sewing on paper. I've got 3 things to try here. Straight lines, some very gentle curves, and some corners. I'm going to show you how to do all 3. First of all, we need to get our paper in position. Now, we never use thread when sewing on paper, it gets tangled. This is just a practice. We're going to be able to see if we have sewn straight because the needle will make small holes in the paper, and when we hold it up to the light, we'll be able to see if it's on the line or if you've gone offline a little. Tucking the paper underneath the presser foot, you will need to lift up the presser foot using a lever, which is at the back here. Now, your needle may also be in the way at this point. If your needle is down and stopping the paper from going underneath, you need to use the hand wheel, wind it until the needle moves up. Basically, the hand wheel does anything that the foot pedal does, but manually. I'm going to line up the line on the page with the small groove on the presser foot that I can see that is lined up with the needle. That's what I'm going to watch as I sew. I don't watch the needle going up and down and get dizzy. I watch the line and the guiding groove. Tucking it under, and to hold the paper in place, I lower down the presser foot, and now I can see that's holding it for me. Now keep in mind, I haven't got my machine turned on or my foot on the pedal at this point because my hands are close to the needle. This is really important. You never put your foot on the pedal or turn on your machine until you're ready to start sewing, so that there is no risk of accidentally sewing your finger. I'm now ready to turn my machine on and get my foot ready. Using one hand to guide the paper close to the presser foot, but not in front of the needle, and the other one out here so I can use it to guide and keep my line straight. I'm now going to slowly put my foot down on the pedal until I have reached the end of the line. If I was to go a little bit off track, whoops, as quick as possible, I just shuffle my paper to get back on track. I've now reached the end of the line on the paper, and it's time to remove this. So I take my foot off the pedal before I touch anything close to the needle. I can now lift up the presser foot, and if my needle is in the way, I would use the hand wheel to wind to move it out of the way. I can now have a look up into the light and see where I was online and if I might have gone a little offline. I want you to repeat that through all of the straight lines. Moving on now to the curve. I'm going to repeat the same steps of setting up when I'm sewing the gentle curves. Placing my paper underneath with the presser foot up, placing it down to hold the paper, and using my hand wheel if I need to move the needle out the way. The only difference when we are sewing a curve is that we need to slightly move the paper to keep the guiding groove in line with the line on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly move the page as I put my foot down. I'm not making any sudden moves or changes like this. I'm just very slowly moving the page to keep the lines aligned with the groove. At the end, the same steps again. Press the foot up, needle up, and remove the page, and I can now check how straight my lines are. Let's have a go at some corners. On this page here, we're going to start at the very top where the line starts here. If you're confused, remember to always have the line of where you want to sew between the needle and you. Placing the page down again, then I can put the needle down. For the straight part, it is exactly the same as a straight line. So I'm going to go ahead and sew until I get close to the corner and then stop. So I'm fairly close to the corner now. I can see it's about a stitch or two away. I'm not going to use the foot pedal because it's too fast. I'm going to now use the hand wheel. By winding towards myself, it'll stitch forwards. Once, twice. The main thing to remember with a corner is to have the needle down and the presser foot up. That way it acts like a pivot and I can spin the paper, but I do not lose the point of sewing. I spin and now have the new line between me and the needle that I want to sew on. Place the presser foot back down and I continue. So I don't have to start and stop. I simply put the needle down, pivot, and keep going. And this is what you will repeat until you get to the end of the spiraled line. Good luck.